riverbank.
It's the only piece of the puzzle we have of what might have happened after he left the plane. So it tells its own story.
If Carr and his team determine how the money got there and when, it could help answer the most important question: did Cooper survive? In 1980, the FBI concluded that the money was sitting above a dredge layer and must have arrived after 1974. It led many to believe that Dan Cooper returned to bury the money. But Tom Kay is convinced that the money came out of the river and wasn't buried by human hands. Tom and his team visit the banks of the Columbia River, where the bundles of cash were found. Agent Carr joins them. Using land measurements, GPS, satellite, and archive photographs, the team make a major new discovery. They find the dredging of 1974 stopped 150 feet away from where the money was found.
So we believe now that the dredging sands did not interfere with the original burial of the money, and that the money got buried there within a few months after Cooper's daring jump.
If the money was not buried by Cooper and came out of the river within a few months, how did it travel over 20 miles from the drop zone? The new evidence points to one conclusion.
The only transport method that makes any sense is via water.
Did the bag of money land in a nearby river? Was it still attached to Dan Cooper? Did the hijacker have the skills to complete his mission? Back in 1971, the FBI spent thousands of man-hours looking for a suspect with aviation and skydiving expertise, but found nothing. Now, Larry Carr thinks they might have got it wrong.
When we started breaking down the actual events of the night, the choices he made, it started defining someone different than that picture.
Dan Cooper had brought no specialist clothing to make the daring night jump. And because he failed to specify the denomination of the ransom money, he carried extra weight.
That's 20 pounds of money attached to him. If he had asked for hundreds, he would have had around 5 pounds of money, a huge difference. But yet he didn't make those requests.
The man who packed the 2 main parachutes in 1971 is convinced that Dan Cooper was not a skydiver.
On that night, I provided 2 parachutes, one of them being an NB8, which is the one I'm wearing, and the other was a Pioneer Sport parachute. He chose the NB8, and I don't know why. The NB8 is very uncomfortable, will open much harder. The ripcord is very flat. It's mixed in with a harness, so he couldn't probably even find the ripcord.
Much was against Cooper that November night. Visibility was poor. The wind factor was well below freezing, and Cooper had no goggles or gloves.
Why in the world would a guy jump with an NB8 at night, going out of a 727, not knowing where he's getting out? It didn't make any sense to me.
On board the hijacked plane, the parachutes were delivered with a set of instructions. Dan Cooper told Tina Mucklow he wouldn't need them. This detail convinced many that Cooper was an experienced parachutist.